Children, youth, they're our future, tomorrow's leaders, tomorrow's society. It's a future that has to be protected. That's why today it's more important than ever to make sure they receive effective drug education. And that's why Narconon drug education has such an important role to play in schools across the UK. Since 1986, Narconon, a UK registered charity, has been delivering its drug education presentations to schools across England, Scotland, Wales and even Southern Ireland. The word Narconon is derived from Greek and literally means no stupor. Narconon drug education was formed in the late 1970s by the then president of Narconon International, John Duff. He based the entire format on researches into drug abuse by the humanitarian L. Ron Hubbard. The Narconon presentation consists of 6 separate sections or modules. In section 1, the basic functions of the body are looked at, and then how the body deals with toxins. The development of physical cravings is also covered, and the format then moves on to how physical addiction can develop from this. This section concludes with a look at mental addiction and the difficulties in shaking this phenomena off. Section 2 looks at the 3 stages of a drug's effect on the body. It also covers how a body becomes used to a drug and, because of a resistance built up, the drug user will have to take more to get a high. Additionally, it looks at the unpredictability of the body's reactions. Section 3 deals with how drugs and alcohol affect the personality. It demonstrates, with examples, how a person can develop a biochemical personality and submerge their real individuality. Probably the most eye-opening section of the Narconon presentation is section 4. Attendees find out some drug residues can stay in the body long after the drugs were taken. During this section, they also find out that some drugs can have unexpected effects much later. The mental effects of drug and alcohol abuse are addressed in section 5. This includes an in-depth explanation of how drugs create blank periods and, as a result, lower a user's faculties. Section 6, the final section of the Narconon presentation, looks at why people initially get involved with drugs and what the alternatives are. This last section also stresses the importance of going for goals and how achieving them give you the real highs in life. Many of the schools using Narconon have been rebooking our organisation for a number of years. Feedback is regularly positive.
We've invited Narconon back to our Year 8s, to our end of year programme, post-exam programme, before they leave and go on to senior schools for many years now. Years after, the one thing they remember leaving the prep was a fantastic talk from Narconon, using the flip chart and using your diagrams and sometimes the humour that goes with it, not because they're laughing at it, but because it makes sense to them. They can understand it from how it's presented.
Definitely a long-lasting impact, because a lot of the students talk about it, time after time, months after people have been in, after people have come and done lectures. So it's been a really positive effect.
So for any school that is considering drug education, I would strongly recommend Narconon. The reason being that they should do it every year so they don't miss any children, and I think many of them do. But the second reason, and the most important reason, is that Narconon doesn't say you shouldn't take drugs, which is what some lecturers do. They actually give all the information to the children, and the children make their own decision. They're informed, and they can make an informed decision. And when they've made an informed decision, if it's theirs, then they're more likely to keep to it.
Narconon has an approach to drug education that works. Questionnaires filled out by attendees indicate that attitudes really do change.
If I was around different kids with drugs, I would ask them to listen to the lecture, really. To show them what it's about and what can happen to them if they take it, and how it can affect their life when they're older.
It messes with your mind, so you hallucinate, you can't think straight, it pretty much messes up your goals in life.
Wow, everybody had learned something, whether it was only a small thing or the whole thing had been new to them. Everyone came out of it really feeling like, I've really learned something.
Giving students the truth about drugs empowers them to make the right decisions, decisions that are crucial to their progress through life.
Now that I've gone out into the world by myself, I'm so glad that I've seen the lecture. Having the data about drugs and all the different things, the ways that they can affect you, the different personality things that they can change in you, the ways that it can sort of control your life. I'm so glad to have been part of the lecture and to have that data, so I know that it will never be an issue for me.
Tomorrow belongs to our youth. Giving that youth the truth about drugs is essential. Contact us now and find out how Narconon can assist your school's drug awareness curriculum.